Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Made it to Thursday, weekend just around the corner. I hope you're feeling good. I know I am. Thank you so much for being Up+Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. Look, from the pressure of TV's Hell's Kitchen to a wood-fired oven in Paso Robles, Marino Monferrato has lived a hospitality life most people only see on TV, literally. 14 seasons standing shoulder to shoulder with Gordon Ramsay, years in the high-stakes restaurant world of LA, and a run as VP of Hospitality at DAOU Vineyards. And now he and his wife, Michelle, she is lovely, by the way, they have traded some of that chaos. Well, no, they still got the chaos because they're still doing all that stuff, but they've bit off a little something more personal, a pizzeria in Paso called La Biga. And here's the best part. This world-class hospitality pro isn't just some TV personality. He is our neighbor right here in SoCal. But this is not just the pizza story. It's a story about immigrants who saw opportunity and took it, about a marriage that has evolved over 3 decades, about authentic Neapolitan pizza that, mind you, isn't quite as droopy, and about a starter called La Biga, the mother. That's what it's named after. That carries history, culture, and a whole lot of soul in every little dough ball. Marino and Michelle Monferrato join us in a couple minutes to talk hospitality, Hell's Kitchen, and why pizza might be the one food that truly unites the world. It's going to be a great conversation. I've been super excited to share this one with you. Before that, a couple headlines real quick. Some people, if you use ChatGPT, you might be saying please and thank you to it. Well, yeah, it turns out that might be costing OpenAI, the company that owns ChatGPT, tens of millions of dollars a year in computing power. Seriously. Sam Altman recently said that all those little extra politeness words, the please, the thanks, the could you help me with this, it adds up when you're running over 1 billion AI queries a day. Think of that, over 1 billion a day. But here's the twist. 67% of Americans, they say they do it anyway. I know I do it. And it turns out they might actually be getting better answers because of it. A study out of university tested how large language models, so they call them LLMs, how they respond to different tones, polite, neutral, rude, across English, Chinese, and Japanese. The result? Impolite prompts produced worse answers, more bias, more errors, and more refusals. Moderately polite prompts, the kind that you used to, like you're talking to a coworker, consistently worked best. Why? Because the AI is basically pattern matching its training data. Ask nicely, could you help me structure this? And the model pulls from professional, thoughtful writing. Bark orders like, give me an answer, and it starts sounding a little bit more like Reddit at 2 a.m. or something, you know. One researcher from Google, DeepMind, put it this way. It was kind of interesting. Think of AI like a really smart intern. Treat the intern like a colleague, you get colleague level work. Treat the intern like a jerk, you get the bare minimum. And sure, those extra words might cost OpenAI some electricity, but with a $300 billion valuation and a $40 billion investment round, the politeness bill is basically, seems like pocket change to me. So the real question is, and it's not so much the cost, it's the habit. Because when parents teach their kids to say please to Alexa, it's not for Alexa, it's because they don't want to raise someone who learns that being rude gets results. And that's a habit. then that's really a habit that doesn't stay inside the chat window. I thought that was a really interesting article. All right, one more lo-fi headline story. This one is an absolute gem. I love this. In Minnesota, and you've seen a lot of effed up headlines from Minnesota lately, with all the fraud, the this, and that. Some seniors there are fighting for something pretty simple. You ready for this? The right to have happy hour. Seriously. A bill moving through the Minnesota legislature right now would allow nursing homes and assisted living facilities to host happy hours without having to jump through all the hoops of a full-on liquor license. Right now, the rules can make it so complicated and expensive, mind you, that many facilities, they just don't do it. And that seems incredibly screwed up. Residents say that's ridiculous. I completely agree. Anita Lebrun from Champlin, she testified in support of the bill, and she put it about as perfectly as you can. Listen to Anita.
Friends and I love happy hour, just like many of you do, I am sure. Just because we are older and live in assisted living doesn't mean that we should have fewer freedoms than anyone else. Allowing our facility to coordinate this happy hour affords us and our families the peace of mind that we can enjoy life but not be out slipping on the ice to stop and get our box of wine. This amendment is simply putting into law what many people assume is already allowed. Happy hour at the place where we call home.
My only regret is that we might not get invited to one of these happy hours if it gets passed.
There's an age threshold.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
I mean, it's so true. Like, of course she loves happy hour, just like we do. And just because they're older and live in assisted living doesn't mean they should have fewer freedoms than anyone else. Come on. And I love how she put it. It's just like her having a sip of something at her home, because that's her home. She said allowing a facility to host happy hour means residents don't have to venture out into the crazy weather just to pick up a box of wine. I love it. She's going to go for a box of wine. Anita, you're my girl. I love that. Her line obviously got some laughs too. You heard the lawmaker in there talking about he wants to get invited. The bill would allow supervised drinking in common areas strictly for the residents, no public sales, no minors, obviously, and staff would have to be at least 18. The idea seems simple. It's brainless. Let seniors enjoy a cocktail, glass of wine, a beer with friends where they live. Like, come on, not turning the whole thing into a regulatory nightmare like we do everything else. And while Minnesota is trying to make happy hour easier, other states are still debating on whether happy hour should even exist. But for these seniors, they're just asking for the same thing the rest of us already got. A little social time, a little laughter, maybe a proper pour, well-deserved proper pour before dinner. Love that. Give Anita her drink, for crying out loud. All right. All right. We got to get into our conversation with Marino and Michelle. Super excited about this chat, by the way. I want to tell you about my friends, Porta Bidet. Yes, we've been talking about it. Saw an order come in this week. Up+Adam listener ordered from Porta Bidet. Boom. I love a bidet. It's where it's at. It's just where it's at. And it's one of those things that a lot of people, you don't know until you try it. Then you try it, you're like, oh my God, how it's that why didn't I do it sooner feeling? And then what happens, you get used to it at home and then you travel. You go on the road, hotel, Airbnb, conference, whatever you're doing. And suddenly you feel like you're in a third world country, that you're roughing it. And this is why I love the Traveler from my friends at Porta Bidet. It's not some squeezy little Amazon, trinket widget. No, it actually mounts to the toilet with no tools, no plumbing. It does it in literally seconds, and it gives you real pressure, real control, real comfort. Just check out the video, what this thing can do. It's incredible. You'll save too when you go through our special Up+Adam link. They smashed their Kickstarter. They're shipping now, and yeah, Up+Adam officially partnering with Porta Bidet. So if you've ever been curious, come on, this is your sign. Hit the link in the show notes, or you can go to adammontiel.com, grab the Traveler, and if you hit that link, it will let them know that you heard about it on Up+Adam. All right? Very cool.
It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, my guests, a perfect example of how the Central Coast attracts some pretty incredible people. Marino Monferrato. Hope I'm giving that the right cultural stank it deserves. Monferrato. Marino Monferrato. He is the Maître D on Hell's Kitchen. Has been for over 10 seasons. Now he's going on like season 14, I think, working side by side with Chef Gordon Ramsay. He also serves as the VP of Hospitality at DAOU Vineyards. But here in Paso, where he and his lovely wife, Michelle, they are pouring their heart into something a little more personal. Their authentic Neapolitan pizzeria, La Biga, right in the heart of the Paso Market Walk. It is authentic, it is soulful, it's not as droopy as he jokes, and it's built on a living starter called the Mother. And that's where the name La Biga comes from, well learned. I can't wait to welcome our neighbors, my friend Marino and Michelle Monferrato. Thank you so much for being Up and Adam.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it again.
There's
Thank you.
so many things to talk about because I want to ask you questions about like all the aspects of your life. And this is the first time we've had Michelle with a microphone on too. So this is very exciting. But there's something, I want to talk about La Biga because there's something poetic about naming your starter La Biga. You know, it's alive, it needs care, it remembers every touch. There's this, it carries history forward, right? How much of you is, obviously this is this project between you and Michelle with Paso. Tell me about how this all came about and what we're doing at La Biga.
So the project is, it kind of come alive out of like an opportunity, let's say like that. I partner up with Antonio Maragliotti because I can be the person that operates, but you don't want me to make your pizza. I can taste the pizza. I can tell you if it's good or not, but it's like I really need somebody in the kitchen that knows what to do with the dough. So Antonio Maragliotti, that he's been he's been here in Paso in SLO for many years, but he was also part of the opening team of Flower House here in SLO.
Wow.
So when they achieved their 18 best pizzeria in the United States, he was the lead pizzaiolo as well. And when he started to work with me at DAOU, because I always wanted to have the pizza at DAOU. And when we put the oven, I said, listen, if we start to do pizza, I want a real pizzaiolo. And so we met, he came up, we started to work, and then this opportunity came upon us in Paso Robles. And we looked at each other, it's like, do we have the time to do that? And we was like, of course, we are immigrants. We find the time. And it's like, it will be our...
We're supposed to have...
Exactly.
I mean, you're old enough to remember In Living Color. Remember when I just interviewed Rob Edwards, he was the writer of In Living Color with the Wayans brothers, and there was that immigrant, like they were Jamaican, but they would do, like, they have like 1,000 jobs, like the Jamaican brothers, right?
It's something that is like, okay, what I'm going to do? Look, I have 3 extra hours in my day. I sleep 8, I work... when in the industry of hospitality, you don't work 8 hours, you work more. But there is always a little bit of 3 hours here, 3 hours there. So this opportunity came upon us, and it's like, and what better place for us to be? Because it was already an existing pizzeria. It was Via Caravaggio. And the previous owners, Pat and Catherine,
yes.
They did an amazing job. So they brought the true Italian-style, Neapolitan-style into Paso. So for us, it was kind of like, okay, the people, they've been kind of like already exposed to that. We have a great oven. Antonio was like, yeah, I can make a dough. And for me, one of the big things was like, remember that we are not in Italy, and it's so weird coming out of my mouth because I've been always the one to say, yeah, but in Italy, and then, having a wife for 30 years say like, you are not in Italy, it's different. So now, many years ago, I changed my perspective and I embraced, because it's true, we can bring the Italian stuff here, but we can adapt it to what the people here like. because at the end it's all about coming into the community and adapt a little bit without changing your belief.
And we say authentic Neapolitan, but not droopy. And
No.
I love that because, you know, if you're having authentic Neapolitan, and I love what Alberto and his wife and what they do at Flower House, it's incredible. But, you know, when you are from California, you might not be used to that kind of style pizza that you need either use a fork or so that line alone, Neapolitan, authentic, but not droopy. It tells me you respect tradition, but you're also not enslaved by it. Like, you know, we understand where we're at and what we're going to do here. Where in your life did you kind of learn that, look, it's okay to honor our home country while still standing firm in your own style, your own fingerprint, your own signature?
I learned it when I think I was ready to step into the next level of my career. You know, I came into this country and I was a server, and then I saw opportunities. And this country is fantastic for opportunities. If you want, they're there. You just need to grab them. And I say, well, if I don't change my mentality a little bit, then I will always be only that. There is no room for growth. So you need to come out of the mentality of Michelle sometimes, many times tells me, don't have the typical Italian P mentality that you think like small. Think big, because this is a big country. And it's true. The moment I changed a little bit without compromising my belief, just to do little adjustment, many more doors open up. And that's where also my career started to improve, because of my ability to accept and also, I hate to say this word, but evolve, because there is PTSD attached to the word of evolving. But it's like that's when I started to see things in a different way. And I see that every time I go back home in Italy, I see the conflict that I have when I go back home.
Tell me, because we're going to jump all over. There's so much going on with you. We're going to jump around. You are in service. You are in hospitality. And at some point you cross paths and you land 14 seasons ago on Hell's Kitchen as the maitre d'. How did that even happen before we get into the rest of that? How did that even go down?
It went down in the most weird way, because I was the general manager of Cecconi's in Los Angeles. So fancy place, West Hollywood, celebrities left and right. And then the casting crew of Hell's Kitchen approached me and said, hey, we are looking for a Maître d' for the show. Will you be interested in talking to us? And I'm like, guys, I cannot remember a line. I'm not an actor at all. And it's like, we don't need an actor. We really need somebody that works in the restaurant business, that can handle a personality, and
to say the least,
that is Mr. Gordon Ramsay, and understands when he starts to go on Gordon's level what he needs, so that we can adapt in our side. So for me, I was like, okay, well, let's talk, see how it is. And if you really don't need me to remember lines, then I think it can work out. So we started on season 13, and apparently they liked me, because we just finished 24, and we are going ahead and film 25 and 26 in May and June.
A girl I went to high school with, Bonnie Muirhead, she was on season 3.
Oh my God.
And I remember we were like, we're watching it, and she got right up to the end. Season 3 was Bonnie and Rock, Chef Rock.
Right.
And I became friends with him.
Rock won, I think, right?
Rock won.
Rock,
right.
Yeah, he was one of the guests on season 24.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the guests for the celebrity dinner that we did. Awesome guy. Great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just remember hearing some of those things, and I know Bonnie has has some great memories from that show that she's shared with me. So just incredible. So what was it like? So what was the name of the restaurant that you were GM at in West Hollywood?
Cecconi.
And I used to live down there, so going down there and you go to like Sushi Roku or on 3rd or whatever, and it's like, oh, there's George Clooney, or there's this person. I mean, it's like everywhere. You must have been just like all the time treating and trying to make sure that these people felt, seen but not too seen, right? Because they want to be left alone. And what was that dynamic like?
Well, I loved it because first of all, I don't get starstruck. For me, everybody is.
Is that true though?
It is.
Well,
no,
that
true? There was only one person that actually I wasn't able to speak to.
Who is that?
Halle Berry.
Yeah, I bet that was incredible.
Halle Berry was. I knew she was coming in, and I was ready at the door to greet her because the guest was already sitting at the table, and I had my head down, and then all of a sudden she walked in, and I just lift my head, and I was like. And I say this way, and I just took her to the table, and then I was like, "Oh my God!" It's like I can't believe it. The moment that you can actually see her and talk to her and welcoming and make her feel comfortable, I was like, like that, brain dead.
Yeah. I remember going to Sushi Roku a lot and having different moments where we were outside waiting for the car to be valeted, and it was my birthday, and George Clooney saw like a few of us looking at him, and he comes over to us and goes, "Hey, I'm George," and like shakes our hand like, "What? Like you're George Clooney, dude? Like what?" And then another story again in Sushi Roku where this is when Drew Barrymore and Tom, why can't I think of his name? The comedian, the silly Canadian comedian. He had the show on MTV. It'll come to me in a second. Anyways, they were dating at the time, and they're like sitting across the table, hands engaged. And my friend Alan was like, "Oh, I want to say hi." I'm like, "No, you do not say hi. You do not say hi." Like, I'm like, he's like, "I'm going to say hi." And he's like this kind of flamboyant dude. And I'm just like turning my shoulder, and he goes like, "Hi, I just want to," I'm like, "Oh no, he does it." And of course, Drew was like just super gracious and super nice. And then because, Tom was so, I got to remember his name. I got to Google him. Tom dated Drew Barrymore. When I hear his name, it's going to be great. Tom Green.
Okay.
Yeah. Tom Green. Yeah. So he's like one of these comedians who's like always like on. So once he knew he got recognized, I felt so bad for Drew because she was just like trying to be real. And then all of a sudden he knew he was on. He had to like perform and be like, performative. And we ended up parking next to them, and as we were at our car and they were walking to their car, he like acted like he was peeing in the bushes, and like it becomes this thing, and you're like, "Oh my God, I wish we didn't do that earlier. I wish Alan didn't do that earlier." So like they could just be like real people. So I don't know. It's the dynamic of that in public, and when you're in like West Hollywood and these nice restaurants, this is probably very common, but it's still something that you, I'm sure, as a GM, had to really mind and like take hold of and be like, "Oh, these people need to have a normal time."
Yeah. And that's our job was like, honestly, like to protect them in a certain way, because it's like, okay, I need to sit you at this table because of the location. I know I can control it. Otherwise, every 3 seconds, you will have somebody with a phone or something like this. And it's like, we wanted to have that clientele coming because it helps, because also then the word is out that, celebrities are in it. The funny part, it was like, yes, you see the actors, the models, and the people that are really known in the industry, but what was always shocking to me in Los Angeles is when you have actually the producers in it, and nobody knows them. Yeah. When you have Oliver Stone, who can recognize Oliver Stone?
Right,
Nobody, right? Because you don't see him. But you have them at the table, and everybody's like, "Oh, look, the actress over there because she just did the last movie." I know. Next door, you have this mega producer,
right?
That you don't see the face, but he's like he's sitting
so
right
interesting,
there.
Right?
Wow. For me, what was like once I had a table that whoever made the reservation didn't specify who was coming in. They just made the reservation for 6. And for us, not knowing, we put it on where we was it. And it was in the middle of the dining room. Well, little for me to know that in that table there was Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and Simon Le Bon.
Stop it.
And I was like, holy crap, now I have a 6-top with those 3 people sitting in the middle of the dining room, and I have no way to move it because I don't have anything else.
And it's a pain in the ass for them, but it's a pain in the ass for you.
And it's like, the funny part is that because of they are iconic to us, our generation, but the new generation, they won't recognize Ringo Starr.
Right. Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it was a great evening because they were right in the middle. They minded their own business. Nobody went to the table. I was like, I don't know how we pulled it, but we did it.
That's so great. 14 seasons as Maître D on Hell's Kitchen means you didn't just really witness pressure. You were like living inside of it. What did standing next to Gordon Ramsay, for that long teach you about leadership and about execution that maybe you couldn't have learned anywhere else?
The attention of details that he has is practically insane. Meaning that you think that when you reach his level of success, he will actually back down a little bit.
He will chill a little bit. Yeah.
Like, okay, you know what? I have 3 Michelin-star restaurants. I have 2, 1. I have 30 plus restaurants around the world. I have TV shows. I am Gordon Ramsay. I made it. And you think that will be like sitting a little bit and coast. And he's not. He continues like each day that we go into work, it looks like it's his first day of work. It's like, man, can you ease up a little bit? But he doesn't. He's a machine. I like to use a sentence: lower your expectation, but not your standards. So you cannot expect people to work or deliver the same way you would, but your standards are your standards, and the people, they need to come up to your standards. And that's the way he is. He's like, his standards, even in the TV show, is like, if the thing is not done his way, he's not going out on the floor.
All right, so the intensity, the volume, the fire, but I'm sure your proximity really changes that perspective. Who was kind of Gordon Ramsay, and this is my last question about him, when the lights go down, and how did your relationship with him kind of shape the person of hospitality that you are today?
When the lights they go down, I think he's a fantastic human being because he's a father, he's a husband. I'm sure he's a fantastic friend also to his close circle. He's generous as a person as well. So you can have a normal conversation. Like when the lights are off, you can have a conversation that is Marino and Gordon and not Chef Ramsay and Marino. Is a totally different thing. You can talk about soccer, Formula One that he loves a lot, MotoGP, all that, every single things that interests a normal person are the same interest that he has. So
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
You've operated in chaos, you've operated in luxury, and now you operate in something that feels very intimate and very, hometown. How do you kind of compare, managing a televised dining room with Gordon Ramsay, protecting the soul of hospitality when you're up at the mountain at DAOU, and then now really kind of owning this fingerprint with La Biga?
There is a common line that it brings everything together. For me, hospitality is not something that is taught. It's something that you have to have inside of you. I always say that for us as Italians, we are in advantage because we're coming from a country where we don't have oil, gold, diamonds, and all of that. But what we have is culture, is history. We are blessed to have, I think, one of the best food in the world. We have wines. So the people that they come into our country, they come to explore that. And for us, is a normal thing, but for other countries is a luxury, right? So for us to open a normal bottle of wine that in Italy costs 8 euros, but is good, it's like, well, that's what we do. And the sense of hospitality is just that. It's like you're coming here to visit. We open our doors. We take your money. And that's how we survive over there. It's like, hey, come in. It's not for free what we do, but we don't do it with a second meaning. We do it with honesty and genuinity.
Yeah.
I don't want to invent words, but it's like genuinity. And that's what for me is the real sense of hospitality. It's like when you are genuine. When I say to you, when you're walking into La Biga, and I say, "Ciao Adam, how are you? You know, I'm happy to see you. Now, you're gonna buy a pizza. You're not gonna buy a pizza, bottle of wine. I don't care. I'm happy to see you. Thank you for coming in." Then everything else comes, you know, because you start with the right way. I welcome you, and once I welcome you. And I notice sometimes at La Biga, people are walking in and they're looking around, and because I'm behind the bar, I'm like, "Where are you going?" You know, just joking like this. I say, "Where are you going?" I say, "Oh, we are looking." I say, "There is nothing to look. It's just, you are here, sit here and have a beer. But I don't know if I want to have dinner here." "Okay, but have a glass of wine. And then you'll decide. You know, you can go down the path and find other eateries that you like, or you might stay here." And I notice that sometimes, you know, the people, there are too many choices in these countries. It's like you have so many choices. Like, you know, you come in Italy, you have 3 choices, that's it. Here you have so much variety, and people are confused. So for me, I'm like, "No, what are you going to stay here? You're here, stay here.
Yeah.
If you want the burger, enter the other side. But if you want pizza, you are in the right place. Here you are. Don't go anywhere else."
Who doesn't want pizza? I love it. You know, every strong concept obviously has a steady force behind it. And Michelle, you're not really just part of La Biga. You're really part of the heartbeat. What does Marino do that people don't see? Maybe the quiet thing that makes this place work, before we get into what you're doing.
He, I think, is the creative mind in how to execute ideas and how to promote. Considering that his number one priority is DAOU, a lot of his ideas happen at 3:00 in the morning when he wakes me up, saying, "Oh, we should try this. Oh, maybe we should introduce that," and then, of course, disturbing my beauty rest. I need to put that somewhere in the back of my mind, and when I'm a little bit more coherent, help him to execute that as best as I can. I am not a hospitality guru as he is. I'm a nurse, and continuing on my path to advance that aspect of my life after the girls have grown and moved out on their own. But his mind is constantly going. It's constantly figuring out, how can I do this better? How can I develop this? We've got a young staff, and we have a certain sense of responsibility to them, and also want to help them move on in the world.
Yeah.
We see too many youths getting stuck at such an early age, and it just doesn't seem right to us. We keep telling our girls, "You've got the world in front of you. Go. Just spread those wings and fly." And
How many and how old?
We have one as young as
21.
How old is Robert?
No. Our
Robert.
girls or the staff?
No, our staff. Robert is
18? Is 20.
Oh, he's 20 now.
He's
Okay.
20.
So not yet 21.
Yeah.
I cannot even offer him a glass of wine at the end of the shift. Can you imagine that? How hard it is for me?
Right.
But he's making decisions for what he wants to do in his life, and so we want to be sure that we offer those opportunities to him as well. So you're asking me about how he contributes. It's on every level, day or night, and even during sleep.
Yeah. How are you there for him in this time? Like, where do you feel like, you know, as a relationship, you guys said like 30 years.
Yes.
There's so many pieces where, you know, one heart complements the other.
Yes, well, that's what it is. It's complementary. And when Marino came to me with this idea, he's been saying this for years, by the way. It's been decades. I want my little jewel, my little restaurant. I said, don't count. I'm not doing it. And I only say that because my mother and her husband had French restaurants in San Francisco, and I grew up in that industry. And it's hard. It's another marriage. It consumes your life.
It's a hustle for sure.
It's a hustle, and
yeah,
very rewarding, but
it can be.
Yeah.
It can be. When I was growing up and witnessing that, and just from my young eyes at the time, I thought, "Oh, this is awful." my parents are not available together on a day off. We can't take holiday. We can't do this. We can't do that. I didn't want any part of it. And so I said to him, listen, I am not going to be that person that will tell you what you can or cannot do. I will tell you that I have my apprehensions. I will tell you that I am on a path. I don't want anything to do with it. This is what I said. And then he jumped in with both feet, and we realized that it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, especially when he's still focusing 120% up on the mountain. I realized that he can't do it on his own. And so one way or another, I had to step in to help. And so I'm in the shadows, and I'm happy to be in the shadows. I don't want my name out there. I'm content to be the backbone to the face of what's happening with La Biga and everything else that he's engaged in. So I do the back office stuff. I help with getting things launched. I help with paperwork. I help with the legal stuff. I do all that stuff that nobody knows about, right?
But she should do the voice work for everything.
Also,
she's got you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
My
Thank you.
my voicemail, if you call my cell number, everybody is like, "Who is the person that does your voicemail?" It's my wife. If you want
I
it,
didn't ever do my voicemail.
it's
so
like
good.
$100.
Yeah. Marino, what does Michelle protect in you?
What she protects in me.
Your sanity, my
yes,
love.
no. She actually she's been on a path to raise my awareness, because for me, I see the good on everything and everyone. And she's a little bit more real, and that's why I think we complement each other very well. She sees the shadows. And she's like, maybe be careful on this one, watch out on this. And for me, it's like, no. But then with passing of the years, I learned to listen and to accept that her point of view needs to be taken seriously, because she sees things that I don't.
Yes.
And it's funny, because during this last project of La Biga, I went in and was like, it's very simple. It's like that. And then all of a sudden, all of these obstacles came in. And I was like, I started to become Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen. And she actually stepped in and calmly untangled everything. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. So I know I suck at that. So thank you, Michelle. And she's like, I don't want. Well, thank you. He's like, it's
so
you're
ironic.
part of it.
I know, right?
It's so ironic, because I am Puerto Rican and I have a hot temper. So between us, he has always been. Imagine a boat with the keel underneath, right? So I am the vessel, and he, being the keel, keeps the boat stable, right? That has been the epitome of our relationship. I've always described it that way. Now things are switching. He's getting a little grumpier in his age, and I'm becoming a little wiser in my age. And so when he starts to lose his temper, which is a rarity, or at least it used to be a rarity, I see this culminating in him, and I think, oh no, my husband, I need to keep him. He needs to be around longer. So I just take it.
Yeah.
I just take it from him.
That's beautiful, though.
And in moments where I would normally be the one to lose my temper, I don't. And I in fact, I had to talk to someone about that. I said, who is that looking back at me in the mirror? Because this is not my character. But when I see that he is upset, then I say, no, we can't have that. So I take it on and I figure it out. I mean, all of this has also been a learning curve. From an administrative perspective,
sure.
from a business angle, a lot of things are different than what I recall back in the day when the French restaurants were running. And of course, I wasn't involved that granularly.
And you're on your path for nursing?
For nursing, yes. So I graduated.
You'd be a great nurse.
Thank you. I do have a passion for helping people.
I could tell.
I cannot stand to see suffering. I just can't. on so many levels. And so, it starts at home. My husband and my children are my greatest jewels in life, and I protect them at all costs. I am definitely that mama bear. So that's when he is struggling, even when we weren't in partnership for business per se, but I was at home raising children, and I was helping him, guide him in his career, because at the end of the day, he's brilliant and a master at what he does, but he's a foreigner, and he will always be a foreigner about certain things. And so sometimes things creep up, and I kind of pull him aside and
That's
say,
great.
"Oh, how about we do this differently?"
Well, even just like untangled,
Yes,
untangled,
yes.
sweetie. I mean, like it's even in the moment, like really quickly. You think of like 14 seasons, VP titles, global kitchens, and now 1803 Spring Street, right? Yes. I mean, when someone takes their first bite out of La Biga, what do you hope they taste beyond tomato, mozzarella? What do you really hope they get from you?
I like to see the expression in their faces when they have no words, and they're like, but I can see in their mind they're saying like, "Oh shit, this is good," and then they're like, "Oh, we went to Italy and we never had something like this back when we came back," and then we start a conversation about. Yeah, because we use the right flowers, the right tomatoes, the right mozzarella, the right ingredients. It's all about the ingredients. Italian cuisine is very simple. And my mentor, that was Gualtiero Marchesi back in the 80s, he always says, it's very difficult to be simple. Because when you're simple, you have no place to hide when you're making a dish. If you have 3 ingredients and you mess up one, the dish is off balance, or it tastes bad, or it is missing something.
Not quite right.
Exactly. So, when you do, for me, it's like the best test, if you ever go to a pizzeria, is the margherita. Because you have dough, tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil. That's it. If there is something else, no. Those are the 3 things. So I always go and I taste the mozzarella, the margherita, and then the margherita is good, and then I'll venture into the most expensive and fancy things that they put on menus, And we do have some fancy pizza, I would say, like even in ours, the truffle cacio e pepe is phenomenal. It's a white pizza with the truffle spreads, and then you put the guanciale that is local. Guanciale. You put it on, and then it becomes crispy, and the grease of the guanciale. When I describe it like this, you see people, even if they don't eat pork, they will order it. Because I get so passionate about it. It's like, you're not just eating something, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding your soul. And then, for me, I always say, when I had the pizzeria in Los Angeles, I say, pizza is the only food that no matter what, everybody in the world can eat it, no matter which religion you are, politics, and all the stuff that kind of like separates or makes us different. Everybody can eat pizza.
Yeah.
And there is no translation for the word pizza. Pizza is pizza.
Pizza's pizza.
That's it. Other food you can translate it. Pizza is pizza. That's it. So everybody knows from Timbuktu to Greenland, they know exactly what pizza is. Everybody.
And who knows, we might be having some more pizza up in Greenland pretty soon.
Well,
who knows
I don't know where they're going to get the wood in Greenland, but it's like...
I know. I want to talk about this menu in a second, but I want to talk about pizza real quick. Different pizzas in Slow. Obviously, you've had Flower House. Have you had My Friend Mike's?
Not yet.
You need to get that, maybe take it on the way home.
Okay.
Because here's another, and I'm curious to talk to you about your bread, but here's like a sourdough, where they've dialed it in so good, where like even the little bubbles that happen in the pizza, you look forward to them.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at some of the pizza behind you, I'm looking forward to eating that crust, on the side. It looks so beautiful. There's so many, obviously, the ingredients on the pizza. But man, we have seen, especially locally, because we have so much, great produce, great things at arm's reach here. But man, and we have a lot of winemakers. We have a lot of people who love to ferment shit. That bread needs to really pop, doesn't it?
Well, Antonio has his own way, and he kind of like it looks like a little crab when he does the dough because he doesn't want too many people to see. and for me, it's fine.
Keeping it, yeah.
As long as the product comes out the way that he wants it, and I see that the guests are happy, I'm totally fine. And he's really good at what he does. His dough is really good, and
He's
for me.
gifted. He's just gifted.
I love that.
I make fun of it to say, like, I think, Antonio, when you were born, they wrapped you on pizza dough instead of a blanket. So you were the little pig in the blanket, and as you have here in the United States.
You do more than pizza, though. I'm looking like over here, like you're doing some of these, like the beet carpaccio.
We do a couple of appetizers. We do like a couple of salads. Then Antonio wanted to do this beet carpaccio because the beets are actually cooked under the ashes of the pizza oven, so they become nice and soft. It's a nice, we make our Caesars. We make. I'm an arugula guy, so for me, if you give me just plain arugula, olive oil, salt, and shaved Parmigiano, I'm happy. I don't need anything else on it because for me the focus is the pizza. We make a tiramisu in house that is really good.
So good.
The pizza with Nutella.
Pizza with Nutella?
Yes.
Stop, like a dessert pizza?
Yes.
You must do like a pepperoni, right?
We don't use pepperoni. We use our product from Allepia that is local.
Yeah.
So we use their salami.
Which is
the Italian
Yeah,
salami. The only difference I always jokingly is like when I say mortadella and pepperoni, it's like, okay, mortadella, and then people say, oh, it's like balloni. No, it's two different things. So jokingly I say, well, if you do a DNA tasting on pepperoni and balloni, you still don't know what it is inside. While if you do it on a mortadella and in the salami, actually comes out what kind of ingredients and meat you actually put inside.
So it's a better meat.
It's good for you.
Let me ask you something, because I told you earlier I joked about ranch dressing.
Yes.
If one of your customers asks for ranch dressing, do you have some for them?
I jokingly say that my family in Italy has a farm, but not a ranch.
No, but that's the thing is, like, we talk about, yes, your culture, but a little bit of this culture. Like, we dip our shit in ranch sometimes.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
If you bring your own and you want to do it, yes, but I don't have it.
Do people ask for it?
Yes.
And what do you? But here's the thing. Let me tell you another little. May I just respectfully give you a little? If you were to make your own ranch,
yes,
people would lose their mind, and they would almost go. You've heard of Leber's?
Yes.
Yes.
My friend Mike's, he does this vegan ranch.
Okay.
It's incredible. And I'm not even a vegan. But he makes his own. Leber's, they make their own. So you almost get into this, like, I don't know, it's almost like a little bit diving deeper into that culture that we already acknowledged is there. Look, right, we're Americans. And it's, I certainly don't mean disrespect to your Italian culture, because that is why your pizza is good, is because of your Italian culture. But if you were to have Antonio,
yes,
have him create his own ranch, I promise you, people will talk about it, and it'll even become further. Now, this might sound sacrilegious to you. You might be listening to me going, Adam, no, you have no idea what you're talking about.
No,
I don't know.
I get it, but it's something that's where the line for me is on Italian restaurant. If I remove the word Italian cuisine, then I'll do the ranch. But if we say like, no, we are Italian, then let's be Italian. I will compromise a little bit on other stuff. But
the ranch is not one for you.
The ranch is not one for me.
What do you think of this, Michelle?
I think that when you pick up your pizza and take it home, you can do whatever you want to.
Sure,
your pizza.
right, yeah, right.
At home, absolutely. If you want to put barbecue sauce and
right, like barbecue chicken pizza.
No.
Do you sell by the slice there?
No.
No.
It's-
And they're what are they, like? That's what 16 inch. I mean, that's a
No,
big.
it's a 10, 11 maybe.
That seems more than wow.
No, it looks like it.
This
More
is
than
like
a foot.
12, that's
yeah,
a 12
it's a
inch.
12.
Yes, our
but
plates
but it blows
are 12
up.
inches.
It
does.
It's what happens. Is you start with a 12, and then the crust, like, because that's a beautiful sized pizza. That's a large pizza right there.
Yeah, but it's super thin. So
yummy.
the thing that I still need to get used to it after so many years is when people they come, it's like, so it's 4 of us. How many pizzas shall we order? I say 4.
I love it.
And they say, what do you mean? I say, well, you can taste my pizza, but I'm not going to share my pizza with you.
Right.
So
Oh my God, I love you for this because I did a birthday party at Leber's, just 4 couples, right? So 8 of us are sitting around a table like this, and I was like, well, I want this pizza. And then, my fiance's over here and was like, well, no, that's my pizza. Yeah, you can have a little bit, but I mean, that's going to be the one sitting right here. And then, like, no, let's grab like a few pizzas. Like, I mean, come on, it's like, come on, what are we talking about here? Because they're, about the same size.
Yeah.
Have you had Leber's?
Yes.
You like it?
I did. I think they're doing a great job.
Fun people. Great guy.
They're different.
Very different.
I love their offering of appetizers that they
Yeah.
do.
Oh, they're divine.
I was really impressed with how the operation is set up. Their wines, insane.
Great.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I really loved it. Like, we tasted and the price as well, and then we find out that she's the winemaker and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful story behind.
love
I really love to see this kind of like realities happening for us, regular people.
Yeah, that's why you're gonna love my friend Mike's.
Okay.
When you take one home, I don't know. He, like you, different flavors, like different things, and you'll see some of the flavors like what, and then it's funny because you don't need to order 2. There's 2 of us, and we don't need to order 2 pizzas. But I love pepper. I love simple pizza.
Okay.
And she likes coloring outside the box type flavors and profiles. So we'll end up ordering 2 of these, and then we end up probably not even finishing them both. But you end up a couple days in the fridge, and then you probably throw away a couple. But it's so much fun to try these different pieces. So you'll definitely love it. I want everyone to try La Biga. You just come on up there. What days are we open? How do we learn more about you?
We are open Wednesday through Sunday for now. We open at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We close at about 8:30. We are looking to open earlier on a Sunday to taste the demands.
Yeah. Or Saturday even?
Saturdays, I think that the people that come into Paso on Saturdays, they're all out wine tasting.
Yeah.
So 4 o'clock is good because they're coming out of the tasting rooms and they need a little something or an early dinner to help them not be hangover the next day.
Yeah, for real.
Pizza is perfect. And, we have a beer and wine. So if they want to have a nice glass of Italian wines, we have it. I have a couple of local wines as well. But then mostly I decided to go Italians because that's what I'm comfortable with. We have a local brewery that provides our beers.
Oh, I'll talk about this right here, the unspeakable. You have a $1,000 pizza.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, the $1,000 pizza was, I always wanted to put it on the menus because there are places in Italy that they go all crazy about this pineapple situation, right? So I say, okay, I don't want to fight with people and try to make them understand.
Well,
or
you just
teach
fought with
them.
me on ranch.
Right. But I don't have it on the menu, so that's easy.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want them for me to fight with them. So I'm like, okay, I'll put it on, but because we don't want to do it, it's $1,000. So if you want it, it's there and it's $1,000, and I'm happy to give you 50% off as well. Or guess what? You order one, I give you 2.
Yeah, there you go. Mention Adam, get 2 for 1
Exactly.
on the pineapple pizza. I'm with you. I don't think pineapple belongs on pizza.
It's a cultural thing, right?
Some people like it. I don't. I don't need it.
I have to tell you this. A friend of mine in Los Angeles, Daniele Uditi, that is a pizzaiolo very strong, he actually made a pizza called Sacrilegio. Sacrilege.
I love it.
And he has pineapple. But it's a white pizza with a pineapple spread. It's not the real pineapple. So
Interesting.
it actually works. So the problem with the pineapple on pizza is the acidity. You have tomatoes that is acid, and then you have pineapple that is acid, and they don't go together. But if you remove one, so what he did, he removed the tomatoes, he made a white pizza, he did the pineapple more of like a spread, like a jam, so it's sweet, right? And now it works. And on that side, we do have a pizza that is called Il Fico, and is a white pizza with a figs spread, right? With the white cheese on top, and then we finish it, when it's cooked, we finish it with prosciutto crudo, and it works fantastically. And that pizza came out because one of our staff members, Elias, came out with it, and me and Antonio, we looked at it like, come on, that's too sweet, it's not going to be good. Then we made it, Elias was insistent, it's like, let's make it, let's see how it goes. And we had the fig spread in the pizzeria. We made it, and then both me and Antonio, regretfully, we looked at it like, you know what? It's not a pizza that I would order because it's not my thing, but then it eats well. It makes sense.
Right.
And now it's on the menu. In Italy now, you have the pizza with the French fries. You have pizza with hot dogs, Würstel. You take the German sausages and you make a pizza with it. It's fantastic. You make pizza with fried calamari now. It's like you go in some nice pizzerias in Italy, and the menus they are evolving. It's not just the basic flavors. You have the classic. So the way to do it now is you go in Italy, you have the classic, and then you have the fancy. And the fancy is where the pizzaioli, they really play with flavors, texture, and they explore. And then at the end, the guest is the judge. Do they like it or not? It's not what we think. And then you take it on the menus or you take it out.
People are getting takeout. Do you need reservations? What is it?
No reservations. We have a counter that sits 12 people. We have a small counter outside that is another 12, 16 people. There is open communal spaces where people can come and order, and then we'll bring you we'll bring it to you, or we give you a buzzer. You come and grab it. But it's like
We're going live with Grubhub starting tomorrow,
Oh.
which is huge for us.
Good for you. Okay, so get to Grubhub.
Yes.
Affogato. Love it.
Affogato.
It's my favorite. Every time I go to an Italian restaurant, anywhere, I see if I can get an affogato.
Thank you.
I love it.
He's somebody that there was Antonio. He's like, we should put an affogato. I say, okay. So I have a little tiny machine because for me, I didn't want to have a full espresso because then you have to have 6 different kind of milk and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
thing.
okay, we do just a single good espresso with an affogato. And it's good, the espresso at the end of a meal, after a salad, a pizza, 2 glasses of wine, a little espresso, it helps. But we don't do delivery, but we do pick up. And so if people call and they say like, can I place an order to go? Absolutely, and we are pretty fast.
Don't sleep on the tiramisu or the Nutella pizza. So good. So much good stuff. Well, we'll put a link to obviously everything La Biga and this menu. You probably got a link to the menu here, right?
So that is the menu. Yes, the
Wonderful.
QR code right there has the menu on it. We are currently redeveloping our website, and that will be a possibility to order online. And
Cool.
it'll come straight through to our POS system. And then we have Grubhub for delivery.
We make a smaller size part-baked frozen pizza.
Great.
So they're tiny. For me, I always think of like people with families with little kids.
Little personal
you don't want
pizzas?
to have like an 11 inches, so smaller one. So what we do, we part bake it, freeze it, and cryovac it, and then you take it home. You put it in your oven for like 4 minutes, and ready to go.
great.
You know, when you have kids that is like soccer practice, cheerleading, something like this, and like, okay, I don't want to cook.
Yeah.
This is enough for a child.
And then you can get those right at your place and take them to go.
Yes.
I love it.
We have a little freezer, so right now we always have at least 10 ready.
Yeah.
If people
camping.
Oh my God, great idea.
Put it in your
Airbnb
camper.
is all
Everyone's
of
got
that.
like air fryers now and little things. Man, it's so good. This has been so much fun, Marino.
Thank you.
I love this. Michelle, it's been fantastic
Thank you for
meeting
having
you.
us. Thank you.
I've really enjoyed this time with you.
Thank you.
It's been long overdue.
I'm looking forward to have you at La Biga.
I cannot wait.
You know, please come. I'm always there, like every night.
Okay.
When I finish at DAOU, I go down. I'll change from the fancy clothing into like a bib apron.
Yeah.
and I make an espresso for me and Antonio, and then it's like, okay, let's go.
I love it.
You know, and I'm there until we close. So it's actually. It's fun.
La Biga. It's in the Paso Market Walk. We'll put all the links in the show notes between 18th and 19th, 1803 Spring Street, right between Finca and In Bloom. Paso Market Walk, exceptional stuff. It's great to have you there. They're lucky to have you. I love your personality. I've always just loved like our rapport. It's so much fun having you, brother. Thank you for being up and Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Marino, Michelle, thank you so much for coming in to the Lobro Studio, sharing your story with us. In 14 seasons on Hell's Kitchen to your work at DAOU and now building something beautiful together right here in Paso. It's really special to see that kind of passion, that kind of hospitality land right here in our community in SoCal. If you want to experience La Biga yourself, you can find them 1803 Spring Street in Paso. They're open Wednesday through Sunday starting at 4. Authentic Neapolitan-style pizza. And just like Marino says, not as droopy. Which, thank goodness, I like that. You can also follow Marino and the restaurant online. We'll get all those links for you in the show notes. And thank you again both to Marino and Michelle. God, I could listen to Michelle read the phone book. Damn, her voice is so hot. It's just so good. Her voice is so soft and so good. She did say in there, because she's Puerto Rican, she can get mad. I want to hear that angry. I want to hear like her super sultry voice get angry. Like, what does that sound like? Maybe Marino knows. I don't know. I would say she's Puerto Rican and she can get a little angry. You better be super good to that woman. Yeah, she's special. I liked her. I love Marino too. Marino's just about, I mean, like there's some things you can learn about hospitality, but I swear a lot of it starts, that's me hitting my chest. It starts inside. It's in your chest. True hospitality. It comes from the heart. And man, he's just got it in droves, in spades, whatever the phrase is. He's got a ton of it. I love those folks. All right, great. So let's see. Weather. God, it's getting warm. It is getting warm this weekend. We're going to see temps into the 80s. And I don't think it's going to last all too long, but it's going to last a little bit. And then we might see a little bit more of those temps that, remind you of early spring rather than late spring, early summer. Tomorrow's Friday. Looking forward to the show. Did you read that article? It's everywhere now. It went viral. Actor Timothy Chalamet. Super popular dude, of course. Young Gen Z know all about him. He's a big level dude now. He really stepped in it. He was on this podcast or some show with Matthew McConaughey. Talked about how nobody cares about opera or ballet. He said some stuff. We'll play the audio tomorrow. Anyways, if you're in opera or ballet, everyone across the world is having a hissy over what he said. He did really step in it, especially, I think his family's got history in ballet. So we're actually going to talk to local ballet and opera slow about what a comment like this does to an art form that's already trying to be a gateway and let people come into it and attract more people. Sure, ballet, opera, we're going to the opera. It could sound, it's niche. It could sound, to some people, it's like wine, a little intimidating. Might seem a little, snooty if you don't know. But you go to an opera, especially the way that our folks, we have big market talent right here. You go see Opera Slow perform production, you're mesmerized. You're stopped by it, The ballet here, incredible. So we're going to have some people to talk all about it. We'll get the local reaction to that viral story. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll also talk to Robin Coleman from the Woods Humane Society. Thanks so much to Moonshiner Collective for original music on this show called Start Again. Available wherever you get your music, wherever you stream. Also, moonshinercollective.com. Get your tickets to, 8 days away, a little over a week away from their concert, Slow Brew Rock, moonshinercollective.com for those tickets. Also, thanks to our friends Josh and Chiasa Clapper. I love our folks at Tambre Winery, Timbre. Tambre was their name-o. Check them out, taste their wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. And Timbre, tambrewinery.com. Find out about them and taste their beautiful world-class wines. And I thank them very much for our Tambre Lobro studios. Okay. Thursday, we're getting into the weekend very soon. Tomorrow's Friday. Have a great day. Thank you so much for connecting here. You mean so much to me for taking the time to rate, review, subscribe wherever you listen to the show. Reach out, AdamMontiel.com. You want to reach our audience with your business. Check out AdamMontiel.com. You can see some of the other folks who support and how you can get involved. And I just thank you so much for connecting here. Till tomorrow, I'm Adam Montiel. Appreciate you a lot. Thank you for being Up and Adam.
Some say life's where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again.